Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Weather Sim forecast. And in today's forecast, we're going to be talking about a big storm that's going to be coming to the United States over the next few days. And this is going to bring a lot of impacts, as not only are we looking at the potential for significant severe weather across a pretty large chunk of the United States, but even as we head into the next few weeks, we do have the potential for Hurricane Andrea to develop, as it does look like we could see a hurricane by the time we get closer into the middle of this month. And of course, we will be going over some other things other than that, so make sure to stay tuned till the end so that we guys know what to expect for the next 7 to 10 days. And we'll first start off with what's happening across the United States right now. And you guys can see that we do have an enhanced risk. This is a level 3 out of 5 threat for severe storms across areas of northern Texas, back into the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, even up there into southwest Nebraska, and as well as southwest Kansas, where we do have a level 3 out of 5 threat for significant severe weather. Main concern for today is going to be the potential for some damaging winds. We do have a 30% hatch risk for damaging winds, which means a few wind gusts up to hurricane force will be possible, and that will probably be the main thing to watch for. But even a brief tornado or two, along with the chance for some large hail, will still be there too. But once again, main concern looks to be those damaging winds, as that's really the only thing that's driving the enhanced risk, so we will keep an eye on that. Once we get into tomorrow, this is when the severe weather threat will likely continue to move eastward, where we do have a level 2 out of 5 threat. This is a slight risk heading from areas of Wisconsin all the way back down there into North Texas. This is where we could be talking about some damaging winds, hail, and maybe even a tornado or two, so we will all keep an eye on that very closely. Chances of seeing a tornado are pretty low, so we're not really too concerned about it, but still an isolated tornado or two is possible across areas from Wisconsin all the way back down there in the North Texas. And then finally for day 3, this is when some isolated severe weather may still occur across areas of the Great Lakes and as well as the Ohio Valley. But once again, that's kind of looking a little bit on the, less concerning side of things, which means we're probably not really going to be seeing anything too significant by the time we get into Wednesday. But once we get into Thursday, however, this is when I expect things to change, as we already got a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe storms for Thursday, which will be another big one to keep an eye on very closely. And that's not the only thing we have to talk about. We also got the potential to see some pretty big severe weather events as we get into the future. So once again, we're going to have plenty of moisture and energy to work with as we head into the next few weeks. And I think by the time we enter closer into the middle of June, this is when we could be talking about some larger severe weather events, possibly bringing some more damaging winds, large hail, and even a few tornadoes. I also think that during this time we'll also have plenty of moisture to work with too. We got enough moisture to possibly even support some widespread severe storms, so that will be something to really keep an eye on closely as we head into the later part of June. Once again, that's still a little too far out to really tell exactly what's going to happen, but it is something that we are keeping an eye on closely, as some higher moisture is certainly on the table. And of course, during that time, we may also need to keep an eye on for some flash flooding, as anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rainfall will be possible, and that will be our next thing to keep an eye on by the time we head into the middle of June. And then, of course, we got the potential to see Hurricane Andrea as well. You guys can see that as we take this forward, latest from the GFS model wants to show a potential hurricane developing over here in the Gulf of Mexico, where we do have the potential to see maybe a major hurricane. That will still, kind of need to be determined, because there's just a lot of factors that go into, that stuff, because once again, we can't really really say exactly if this is going to be the case or not, but I do think there is the potential for Hurricane Andrea to develop, and when it does develop, it looks like it will impact areas of Texas and as well as Louisiana as it will continue to strengthen. So that will be, probably our next thing to keep an eye on. Once again, still too far out to really tell, but that will be our next thing to watch for. And so we really need you guys to get prepared for hurricane season, especially if you guys live across the Carolinas, down there into Florida, back over there towards Texas, which I do think as we head sometime into June, this might not be till the later part of June, this is when I do think we'll really start to see the potential for hurricanes. So we really need you guys to prepare for it, and if I were you, I would be prepared by now. Of course, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as we really appreciate your guys' support. Make sure to also leave a like down below too, as we do put a lot of work into making things like this happen. And make sure to also turn on all notifications for if and when we do go live. I have been very busy lately, so we haven't really been able to do a ton of live streams. Hopefully I'll be able to go live pretty soon though, with the time that I have. So now's your guys' time to do that, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday out there, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.